Pretty cool, huh? Hey guys, I'm Eric Goldman from IGN. Let me bring out our great group of people we've got here. First off, we've got the executive producer and showrunner of Personatrix, Greg Plageman. Next up, he plays John Reese, Jim Caviezel. You just saw her being freaking awesome in that scene. She plays Carter, Taraji P. Henson. He plays Fusco, a guy I think we all know a bit about, Kevin Chapman. Here's someone who snuck up on us a couple seasons ago, playing Root, Amy Acker. And lastly, a new member of the team, maybe a reluctant member, playing Sarah Shahi. So we're gonna get to audience questions in a little bit. So think about what you got in mind. Let me start off though. Obviously, one thing that came up earlier this year, a lot of press. This little thing called Prism. Greg, you guys have been working on this show for a couple of years. When that happened, did you think, our show called that? Or did you also think, how are we going to work this into the scripts, not work this into the scripts?
Well, when we showed up at San Diego Comic-Con, we thought we might wear T-shirts that just said, told you. But it is really amazing what has transpired in the past year in terms of current events. I think the only difference between Prism and the machine that Harold Finch built is that he was actually concerned with your civil liberties,
right,
and privacy.
Jim, as one of the first people to sign up to this show, did you think when you heard the concept, okay, well, that's a cool, interesting what-if concept, or did you think, that sounds like something that's probably happening?
Probably happening. But what I'm amazed at is the writer's ability to always stay ahead of the curve, and continually.
And Taraji, we have to talk about what we just saw, because that was awesome.
Yeah!
Are you pretty psyched to see that turn of events occur?
Yeah. I love you. Are you kidding me? I was so excited when I got that script. Oh, God. I was like, this is juicy. And what about the kid who plays Lasky? Oh, my God, he's amazing, right?
Yeah.
He stole my heart. He stole my heart. But, I mean, well, he was trying to ruin me. He called me a bitch. No, but the writing just never ceases to amaze me on the show. And that storyline is going to blow you away. And finally, when we get to the script where it involves every character on the show, it's just... Can't say much more because Greg is kicking me under the table.
Thanks, Taraji. Checks in the mail.
Kevin, you start out the show and you are, being forced basically to work for this guy. We don't think we can trust you based on what happened in the pilot. It has been fun for you to chart him becoming, much more, integral and someone that we actually have learned that maybe we can trust this guy and see a completely different side of him than we first met.
Well, is he a bad guy doing good things, or is he a good guy doing bad things? I mean, that's up to the viewers. But I just want to say, after seeing that last piece that I just saw with Carter, and I got Root to the left of me, I am scared for my life right now. I just want you to know that, right? The sweat, right? You see this? I'm scared. Somebody hold me.
Amy, we were talking backstage. You're a very nice, sweet person. Where does scary Root come from? Because she's freaking scary.
I think I just saved it all. I don't know. No, I don't know. I think Root's just trying to get what she needs to happen. She usually does it with a smile, so really that scary?
And Sarah, we didn't meet, when we met Shaw, she did have a partner, so it's not like we saw that she worked with people, but she's still, she didn't scream team player.
No, she's a lone wolf. She likes being a lone wolf.
So how do you think she's adjusting now? Because she's been working with these guys a little bit, you know, is this getting comfortable for her, or is it all always still strange?
You know, it's happening slowly. I think Reese and Finch are teaching her how to be a polite assassin. You know, shoot kneecaps, don't go for the heart. And she's learning slowly, very slowly.
In general, Greg,
She does
you know,
like Bear, yes.
everyone loves Bear.
Yeah, the scene stealer.
Greg, as the show has progressed, it has, you know, we have built a team. We started as this sort of duo. We had a couple other characters interacting with them, but now we're getting much more of a team dynamic. Was that something that you always thought you'd like to go to, or did it just kind of develop as you had these characters and liked seeing how they bounced off Reese and Finch?
Yeah, Team Machine has been sort of an organic development. We think, you know, we feel like this thing started with Harold Finch and enlisting Reese, and it's just sort of built outward from there. And we like characters that live in the gray. This is a great-looking cast, isn't it? It's amazing. Everybody is so talented on our show. It's like, you know, it's like a band where you just want to play all the instruments at various times, and I think each one of them brings something else to the table, and we just love characters that live in the gray, and each one of these guys has a bit of a dark side, as you can even see from the clip we just saw of Taraji. It's just fun. It's fun to play in that zone, and all of them are so talented. We feel lucky.
Jim, similar to Shaw, you know, there's a lot about Reese that sort of screams loner when we first meet him, but you know, he has now made a lot of connections, obviously close one with Finch, but all these other characters too, he seems to deal with them in different ways. Do you think he's sort of a stealth people person? Like he gives off at first, you don't think he will be, but then he really is very good at making these connections?
I would say that probably I have been around the special ops community for a long time, since '96 in fact. And I would say that one thing about these guys is that the mission always succeeds, even if they get separated from their technology, their computers, everything, that they could grab their own buck knife or someone else's and finish the operation. Reese is always going to take an approach from a lack of trusting that technology. And what else? I would say that my approach, as far as what you were saying, stealth, you have to be able to be prepared to work alone, or else the mission fails.
But at the same time, you know, he does
There's
seem
a
to
team
see...
player. There's always a team. There's a group of guys that can be together, work together as a team, work together at you know, some guys are the pinky, some, if you were going to compare it to a body, some guys are the brain. They defer to on every mission. Some guys are the medic, or one guy's the sniper, but they're all prepared to do the technology, the computer system, the buck knife, whatever have you, to complete it. So there you are.
Taraji, you know, there's a lot going on with your character right now. You know, she also has the whole thing where she's helping hide Elias, and Reese and Finch are not a part of that. Is there a little, you know, how might that, you know, how does she think Reese and Finch would react to all of that? And why do you think she is kind of working on her own, maybe when she doesn't even have to?
She learned a lot from her angel. He's taught her everything she knows. A woman will do a lot for her man. Reese, you know, basically, that's it. I'm happy.
He's learned a lot from you.
We've taught each other a lot.
We had obviously a lot of you know, Carter and Frisco working together the first 2 years. Right now, they're not as much because of the situation. What's that like for you, Kevin, to sort of explore, you know, what he's like, you know, on the job, separated from her, and doing his own thing sometimes?
Well, I mean, Fusco is the last man standing in the precinct, and he's kind of swimming against that HR tide. You know, he knows that Carter is scoring over the loss of her boyfriend, and you know, he's trying to be as helpful as he possibly can, but also, you know, he has to navigate that internal HR shark pool and try to keep from catching a bullet himself. So I think that's really what, you know, what's happening right now, you know, is as you see the relationship between Carter and Fusco really turned at the end of last season. So it's just, you know, it's funny because when I walk in the precinct now, I look across and she's not there, and I think it was episode 2 where she approaches Fusco in the precinct dressed in the uniform, and it's kind of awkward.
You cry, don't you, when
A
you
little
go to
bit,
work?
a
And I'm
little
not
bit.
there. Yeah, I know.
You look very good in the uniform, though.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amy, the machine, you know, all the characters obviously have different interactions with the machine, but your character, I mean, she worships the machine. She's calling it God. But at the same time, it's interesting because, you know, she's having these moments where she's not killing as much, you know. Last week, we told her not to. Is the machine making Root a better person?
You know, I think I've actually killed the least people of anyone at the table, so I'm the same. But yeah, I mean, I think the machine and her, this is kind of what she dreamed would happen, and now everything's starting to all come together. She's getting all of the stuff that people were calling her crazy. Now the machine's reaching out to her and helping her escape. So obviously she was right about something. I don't know. But I think the machine's helping. Yeah. Well, did I answer the question? I think so. I think the machine's making her a better person because she wanted to kill Hirsch and she didn't. So
Unless there's a nefarious reason
baby
for
steps.
We're going to start taking audience questions in a minute. I think there are mics somewhere out there in the darkness if you want to start lining up. But, now it's not as dark. There's the mic. Sarah, you know, Shaw is an absolute badass, obviously. Totally, you know, cool and under fire. At the same time, you have been able to, there's been more humor coming in this season with your character. Is that
She's
fun?
funny.
Yeah, is that fun for you to see?
Shaw's funny.
To see how that character can also, she can kick ass 1 minute and then be a good source of comedy the next.
Have a burger the next, or steak on a knife.
Steak on a knife, yeah.
No, it is great, and it's something that, you know, when I was speaking with Greg and Jonah about this character when they first created her, we would see bits and pieces of her, but it would be revealed slowly. And, you know, I think I've been around now, we're 10 episodes in, where, yeah, her humor is starting to peek through, and you get to see that even though there is a Terminator on the outside, you know, she's a sarcastic Terminator.
I'd like to point out that Sarah ate like 5 steaks that day, all with Tabasco sauce and about 100-degree
And
weather.
I ate them all.
Pretty amazing.
I ate them all. I love to eat during scenes.
It's a good thing she's not a vegetarian.
Steaks on knives is going to be the new thing.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, let's take our first audience question over here.
Hi, my question is for the ladies on the panel. No offense to Jim and Kevin, you guys. No offense.
No offense taken, believe me, I'm scared, trust me.
As you should be. You guys are really talented and amazing. But I have to say, you know, as a female, I really enjoy watching a show that has really strong, incredible, complicated women on it.
Yeah. You don't see that very often.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's...
Exactly. And I think the tide is finally turning as of someone who wants to write someday for television. Makes me feel good. So I was just asking, how do you guys feel about being on a show that's, I think, really champions that idea on a network that, no offense, hasn't always had that?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'll go first. You know, it's nice to be thought of for a role that wasn't the finger-shaking girlfriend or, you know, the assistant or the secretary. And I know everyone keeps talking about, you know, the Mayan calendar and the year of the woman. And I just want to say I wholeheartedly believe in that. We are women. We rock. We have babies. We do it all. And I'm just incredibly proud and so grateful to have this opportunity.
Just honored that they showcase women, not just, you know, as badasses, but intelligent, caring mothers. You know, my character has a son. but still able to go out and handle business. It just feels good. It feels good to not be the pretty secretary or, like Sarah said, the girlfriend. There's enough of those roles out there.
I know.
I think it's fun too that all the women are so different and still have those common characteristics. So it's neat to see.
And we have a number of really strong women writers on our show, writer producers. In fact, one of them is here today, Denise Tays, somewhere here. I know she's here. And
Yay, Denise!
Denise, where are you?
Where's Denise?
Where's Denise up the
Why
back?
isn't
Way
she
up the
up
corner
here?
up there. There she is.
Come up here, Denise! Yay!
Denise, come on up.
Come up, Denise.
You will not believe the dark shit this woman writes.
she's so dark, it's unbelievable. But she's here with her family, and she's one of many fantastic writers on our show.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
And we got an incredible crew. I see a couple. I think our director's here, even Fred Toy of Present Episode, and Kate Bogle. We have really strong supporting staff, and we couldn't do it without them. They're constantly reminding us of the Bechdel test and things like that to make sure we're keeping in line.
Welcome, Denise. Let me ask you,
Denise wrote that scene. Oh, sorry.
what's it like to write for this show and to write the female characters on this show?
Well, we all write the characters. All the writers write all the characters. But for me, as the women are saying, it's very empowering to actually get to write these scenes. And you don't on every television show. You don't get the chance to really speak as a woman and show all the different facets. And I do love that. I love that you're all different. I love that Carter has a son. I love that, you can all, use your guns. And it's everything. You're soft and hard all at the same time. And you guys do it beautifully. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I have a super geeky question here on with the female characters. Samantha Shaw, Ruth's first name is also Samantha, her real first name. Is that just a complete coincidence, or is there?
Is it? Stay tuned. Also happens to be my daughter's name.
Okay. Okay. There you go. We should learn that Carter's middle name is Samantha as well.
Yeah, that's what we all have in common. But aren't these the most, the names blow me away, because I always do my research starting from a character's name. These are the most, I've never heard these names, these character names. Like, where do you guys come up with these names? Joss Carter, that's dope. I've never rated Joss.
John and Jim.
And he comes and said, I'm like, hi, Jim. John Jim.
I realize we have more audience questions over there. We'll go to the first one on that side.
Hi. My question is, since Reese is surrounded by such strong female characters that can come and rescue him, and he's led such a complicated life that has shaped who he is, are we ever going to see Reese just lose his shit?
Reese is semi-retired right now. He's letting his harem do a lot of the work for him.
Only by choice, baby. Only by choice.
Yes, you will.
Reese will lose his shit. We'll take the next question on that side.
And for a very good reason.
Hi. Jim, my wife wanted me to say hello. I couldn't let her come today because I didn't want her to be in the same room with you. The balance between having stories that wrap up in one episode where you help someone and then the overreaching arc that lasts 1, 2, or 3 seasons. How do you try to strike a good balance? Because I know we generally fall in love with those single episode stories, but then we get intrigued by the arcs, and how do you keep one from taking over from the other? And that's for Greg or any of the cast, how they feel about it.
You really hit on something. I think that the landscape of television is changing, and by that I mean broadcast television. The content that's coming out on cable right now is just phenomenal. It's the serialized shows, that demographic has responded so favorably to that type of storytelling that I think we all now have to look at it. Broadcast television, has been able to do great standalone television for a long time, but I think that the audience is hungry. They're hungrier for the larger mythology, the larger serialized arcs, and I think that's what we're endeavoring to do here. We talk about the show The X-Files a lot. Shows like that where you could have a really strong standalone episode, but also there's a bigger that we have a mythology built into our show. Some people call it science fiction. It appears to be that it's pretty factual, and it's just fun. That's the fun part of the story, and that's what we're endeavoring to keep telling.
Well, I guess for either Greg or Denise to follow
You
up
also, just to mention, the writing and everything, but how the look of this. One thing that Jonah promised and has delivered on is the cinematic look that we're doing. The amount of coverage, and you have people like Fred Toy right here, who are brilliant. Bringing stuff that we've watched for years in movies, putting it on television. So you have this film look. Yeah. And obviously, we're not using a film camera, we're using the computer chip. So the amount of speed, the amount of shots that we can get in, the amount of setups, and they're capitalizing on quite a bit of that.
Thank you.
One thing I really like, though, is that there's standalone stories. Although there are true standalone stories, a lot of times you kind of sneak in on us at the end. It turns out to be a piece of the bigger story, or it introduces an element that will be continuing. Is that kind of fun for you, where you can kind of veer off like that on what appears to be a case of the week?
Absolutely. We love our twists, and we love when someone breaks out, a character breaks out. Obviously, Sarah and Root and all these characters that we love to keep bringing back. When someone pops and they're amazing on our show, we just have to have them back. And then if we can, sometimes it's planted intentionally, and that we're going down that road, and eventually we know that that's going to be a recurring thing. But sometimes we love the character, or we love the storyline, and it becomes part of a larger story.
Next question on that side.
Jim, when you see scripts that you have romantic feelings, are you glad? Or would you prefer to keep going on your own with Finch?
How do you know?
Theirs is the greatest love story ever told.
How do you know there's a romantic feelings for Finch?
Only romance on this show is between Root and Shaw.
Are you asking me if Reese has romantic feelings?
Sure.
I have no idea where the writers are, going to go one way or another, but I'm sure Reese does have something in there for someone here sometime. What's your phone number? No.
Zoe's a special friend. He's got Zoe as a...
One thing I did want to say is the Jonah Nolan isn't here. And this, and I say, obviously, I'm making a hell of a comparison here, but he's a young Orson Welles. This man is, I don't know if any of you have seen Memento, and what what he does in storylines, and he sees great talent, and he puts it in, and he really a great visionary. And you'll be hearing about him more and more and more in the future. He's really like I said, I'm making a heavy comparison, but that's how I see this guy, and really has done a phenomenal job in capturing another dimension that we so rarely see on television and even on film.
Sarah, with the characters of Reese and Shaw, there are a lot of similarities, and I could see it both being like, oh, maybe they'd be a good romantic pair because they're similar, or they're almost like siblings who kill together. What do you think about the two of them and their dynamic?
Wait, did you just say they were hot siblings that kill together?
I didn't say hot, but it was implied.
Oh. I don't, it's interesting because a lot of people have approached me. I don't know if they've approached you, Jim, about it, but first of all, I think it's the death of any show when you put, two, strong leads like that together. So, I hope it's never anything that happens just because I don't know. I don't know. But, I don't know. It's interesting. People say that. I don't know where they get that from.
They used to say it about me. They would be like, when is Reese and Carter going to make out?
Yeah.
I'm like, he's too busy saving and protecting me.
And
I just want to see you in love.
I think that's what it is they want to see this handsome face right here just macking on some girl. It doesn't matter who the girl is. You know, it's Zoe one day, Carter the next, Shaw the next, Roots next, and then maybe Finch. Yeah.
These are all for season 4 and 5, right, Greg?
Yeah, exactly.
But
Sorry,
I like
Derek.
the hot siblings that like to kill. Like, I like that a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I hope, am I remembering correctly, we're on this side now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for coming, first of all, to Comic-Con, because I'm a very big fan of your show and I love your show. But my question is for Carter.
Yes.
If your son came to you and said, I want to go to the police force, knowing all that you've been through, how would you feel about that?
Carter, the character.
Yeah.
She's a cop, down to her very soul. She'd probably be very proud of him because she knows what she raised, and he would never fall on the dark side. So she would be very proud that he's following in her footsteps. She's a cop to the bone. In the uniform, out of the uniform, it doesn't matter.
Even after
She wants
everything?
justice. That's my boyfriend. He loves me. Batman loves me.
That's my son right there.
So after everything that she's been through, she still would want him.
Yeah. I think she'd be honored that he's following in her footsteps. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
She's going to take down HR, so it'll be okay.
Single-handedly. And I think they would be pissed if they knew I had Elias, but that's why she's not telling them.
Can I get the next person over here?
How did you guys decide we should add a dog to the main cast? Because I
That was
love
brilliant.
Bear. He
I
is
know.
awesome.
I think the question is, why did you wait so long?
That dog is amazing.
Yes.
It's a Belgian Malinois, which is the same breed of dog that the SEAL team used when they went in to get Osama bin Laden. It's one of the smartest breeds out there, and you know, Michael Emerson is often tasked with walking him, and it's very difficult because Michael he's disabled. He's playing that he's disabled. He's trying to hold a dog and remember his lines and hit his mark all at the same time. And I know how hard it's been on him, but man, people love that dog.
Please don't kill it. Please.
I have to admit, when I told my wife I'd be doing this, she loves the show, she loves the entire cast, but she goes, is Bear going to be there? She's going to be really upset with me if he was. Next
Hi,
person.
how are you? I'm super nervous, I'm sorry. My question is for Jim. My mom loves you, but she couldn't be here because she's really ill. Would you mind signing an autograph for her after the
You
panel?
betcha. No problem.
Thank
hon.
you so
What's your mama's name?
Doris. Doris, she's a big
Hey, does anybody videotaping me right now?
I have no idea.
Do you have a camera phone?
Yeah,
Video,
you have a camera.
video?
Come up here right now.
Me?
Yeah. Oh!
Good to see you, buddy. How's it going?
So sweet.
Doris. Hi, Doris. Doris, I love you.
By the way, that's my mother-in-law's best friend. Thank you.
You have to get the camera.
Yeah.
She doesn't know your number.
Mom,
Finch
I really
isn't
got
here.
it.
Can't give it to you.
Get the next person on that side.
There have always been overtones of orthodoxy in the show from season 1, where Finch was kind of an oracle to the machine god, and Reese was like a clergy, kind of affecting the will of the machine god to protect people. And now that Root's messianic complex is kind of becoming physically manifest, and the machine seems to be talking to other people, I was wondering if we're going to see maybe a splintering of this sort of orthodoxy.
There's always potential for that.
You are not doing a light reading of the show, sir.
I think it's extremely interesting that Root refers to the machine as a she, kind of like the way sailors refer to a ship. We definitely think, when Harold Finch built the machine, it would be very interesting to explore the idea that perhaps he wasn't the only one. It's just when the Manhattan Project was being built, you understand that there were other entities out there racing to get the bomb, and you can imagine that with the power of the machine, that perhaps, and in fact, total information awareness, which what PRISM is the predecessor to all these things. Admiral Poindexter was trying to fund. So we're going to get into a backstory involving Harold Finch and some flashbacks that are coming up where we explore the idea that perhaps he wasn't the only one out there in this race. Could be fun.
I wanted to ask Greg, we have that mysterious, unknown voice on the phone, Hirsch's boss. In the not too distant future, might we get a little more information on that woman?
Absolutely. Hirsch has a boss who ordered the dismissal of Office of Special Counsel at the end of last season, and I think it's about time we met that person.
Next question on this side.
Hi, my name's Andrew, and Jim,
Well, I just want to say Chappie's a phenomenal actor. Actually, we worked together on a movie called Unknown. And this man has a great soul. He is, I grew up a blue-collar kid, actually in the farm area of Mount Vernon, Washington. I worked at Combiner, I baled hay, and this guy probably didn't do that, but he probably
He probably didn't do that.
Was like a, well, I don't know, worked on a wharf or something like that. But I have a great connection with this fella, and there's obviously a beautiful love-hate relationship between him and Fusco. But between me and him, this is a tremendous human being.
Yeah. Pinch his cheeks.
Next question on this side.
Hi. I actually have a question about Bear. Given that Halloween is in a few weeks, will we see him in costume, maybe? And if so, possible costume.
How about Bear flashbacks when he was a puppy? Just putting it out there. I don't know.
I think that would go over very well, actually.
Bear's jealous of a big Dane. Could happen.
Yeah, person here.
Hi, I have a question from Amy. So I like that you continually say that you don't think Root is crazy, because I think Root is completely sane, and I love how, I know, okay, but I mean, like, there's a lot of, like, issues with that, but,
Yes.
I love, like, in last season, when there was kind of, like, this whole idea, like, is she Hannah, and it's like, oh, something happened to her, and then you go to Finch, like, oh, that's so sweet that you think something happened to me, like, so how do you think, I mean, not, like, what did happen, because we saw some of her background, but what do you think motivates Root if it's not insanity, and it's not, like, a tragic past? Is she just a very intelligent woman who's doing her thing?
I mean, I think she's definitely invested in the machine and its power. And I don't know, I was watching a movie called The Singularity is Near, or there's a book about it. And, you know, there are a lot of people who are very, very smart and believe that machines have these, will in the future have this power to program themselves, and that this sort of idea that Root has is not that far-fetched and may not be science fiction in the future. And so I think she just believes this, and she believes that this is an inevitable thing that's going to happen, and so it's her goal to be a part of this thing that's about to happen. Is that right? Okay. That's what I was going with, so I'm glad that might be kind of right.
Yeah. Thanks.
Next question on that side.
Hi, I'm Johnson, and this question is for the ladies and Fusco. Sorry, Jim. In a battle royale situation between Shaw, Root, Carter, and Fusco, which of the girls would win, and how fast would Fusco fall? Sorry.
Fusco gets a prize.
I'll kick his ass. No, I'm kidding.
And I would love every minute of it.
I don't think Carter would fight Fusco. I think she's grown to love him. She's accepted his dirty past. And she forgave him.
We don't want to see them fight.
Fusco's like the little brother that nobody wanted.
Although Sean Fusco,
Yeah.
we've got some stuff. We've got some stuff
Yeah,
happening.
we got some cool stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Actually.
Fusco has amazing stuff coming up. Ooh, yeah. He's gonna blow you away with his talent.
There's one piece of guest star casting you can reveal, right, Greg, for an upcoming episode?
Kirk Acevedo is going to be on our show. He's a person of interest in episode. Sorry, I'm forgetting which one. It's in one of the next couple episodes.
And then, can we get...
Thank you.
So, among other strengths in the show, you guys have a fantastic cast of villains. I really love a lot of your villains, and I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about which ones we might be seeing, in particular, because I also loved Jonathan Nolan as Greer. Will we be seeing more of Decima?
Absolutely. It's Jonah's uncle. He's really, really fantastic in the role. Enrico Colante, who plays Elias, I don't think you've heard the last of him. And I think the work that Robert John Burke has done on our show is just phenomenal. As he plays Officer Simmons, who's one of the heads of HR, as well as Clark Peters, who plays Quinn.
You've got all these recurring villains. You know, you've got Alonzo Quinn and Elias and unknown lady on the phone. Do you think? I mean, they've already crossed paths. Obviously, HR tried to have Elias killed. But do you think at some point maybe you might sort of bring them together in a bigger way? Have a Legion of Doom?
That sounds awesome. Great idea.
All right. Hey. I'd like to see that. Can we get the next question over there?
Hi, I just wanted to say you guys are all amazing and thank you for being here. My question is for anyone that wants to answer this. You guys have been playing these characters for a while now. Do you bring ideas of what you want the characters to do, or do you trust the writers so much that you just let them have at it and then you sort of work with them on that?
Be careful.
I think for me, they have better ideas than I could come up with. So it's exciting to get a script and be surprised and be like, oh, we're going in that direction. So it's fun to see what they have planned for us. But other people might. I don't know.
I've thrown a couple suggestions their way. I feel like I'm always throwing things your way though, and I don't think they ever like it. But I'm not gonna stop.
I just trust the writers because they're brilliant. I can't say it enough.
Is there ever a time, Greg or Denise, where something about the actor, you know, kind of pops to you and it does kind of get incorporated a little bit into the character?
I'm sorry, I'm just so stunned by what they just said. No, it's these guys are all fantastic, and I think there is an element of trust. If the material's good, then I think everyone's happy, and I think you know, Jonah is a fantastic collaborator. He is very strong-willed, strong-minded about the direction of the show, and I think that when there's that element of trust, everything just becomes better.
I did request one last season. Was it last season when I dressed in plain clothes and went to the club and gave the guy the drug and knocked him out? I said I want to be cute in an episode, and they totally did it. That's my brilliance. I just want to be cute.
Next question on that side.
Hi, my name is Kate, and my question is for Jim. We've noticed last season you did a lot of exercise and running around, and this year you're kind of taking it back and kind of putting it more on the ladies. And I was just wondering kind of how you feel about that and how much of the stunts you actually get to do.
Well, you're going to still see that. You're going to see a lot of action at times, but I'd say it's a very difficult show to sustain for that amount of months and the amount of hours to do that. What I want to continue is to continue to do the stunts, the fights that I do, and that was one of the things that I was able to bring in. I studied martial arts when I was a kid, so I'm able to do a lot of that in about 10 minutes, learn it, and then and deliver on it. And then also the weapons training that I've had for the last 15 years has really helped tremendously in keeping it real. So the believability is the most important thing, but the sustainability is the most important thing. So I'm very, very fortunate to have a great cast and have Shaw come in and to be able to pick a lot of this, and trust me, she does her fair share and holds her own. So, but you'll still be seeing me go in there and whoop some ass sometimes.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Next question on that side.
Hi, how you doing? My question is for Taraji and Sarah. It's completely unrelated to the show, but I know that Taraji is a huge Redskins fan, and if my information is correct, Sarah used to cheer.
Oh, no.
Sarah used to cheer for the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I was wondering, with tonight's game on the line, is there any wager going on? A little bit of smack
Keep it
talk?
friendly. Keep it friendly, girl.
I would like to keep it
I had no
friendly.
idea she was a Cowboy fan.
You know what? I'm a
cowboy
fan
cheerleader.
of any sport or team that requires alcohol. So I'm a cheerleader for everyone.
You still used to cheer for the Cowboys, though.
I did.
That's awesome. You get the next question on that side.
Hi, we are from Chapman.
I want to say there are a lot of fans from China, and we hope one day you could visit China. And actually tomorrow is my birthday. You guys totally make my day.
Happy birthday!
Thank you so much. And here comes my question. I know to sign in like a show with a lot of seasons is kind of a really long commitment, and there are different writers for the show, and every writer has their own like view of the world. So I was kind of wondering how you guys, for the different characters, how you guys could keep the consistency for your own role of the character. That question is for the actors and actresses for the whole panel.
How do you keep the consistency of your character? Or do you? Because sometimes some of these people are changing through the years.
Well, they keep changing, but you know, somehow they have to be themselves, right? They are fighting for what they believe, right?
I feel like what maybe that is for the writers, though, because you guys also want to keep your core of the characters consistent, right?
Sure. I mean, I think, you know, we always want our show to be unpredictable. We always want it to be fresh and exciting, and we like to meow. We like to say always in this show that no one is safe. We want this to be a show that is unpredictable, that doesn't feel like
unpredictable, like this moment occurring.
If anybody else has gifts, and you want your picture.
I'd take money.
Then you're a dirty cop.
We'll go to the next question. No more picture requests for next. We want to get through. We only have a few more minutes. So
Are we on in
And,
China?
yeah. Actually, I have another question. Do you
we
think?
do want to keep it to one question. Okay?
Do you think the machine's gonna double cross everybody?
Ooh. Are you the machine?
She'd never do that.
We'll go to the next question on that side.
This question is for Sarah and Amy. Did you know ahead of time you were going to be regulars, or were you surprised later on?
Do you want to go first?
Well, it was fun because they had already actually introduced the character Root before I started playing her. So I saw an episode that had the back of her head and her hands in it. And so when I got the part, I got to see her introduction into the show. And then they said I was going to be in that episode and 5 more the next year or something. But joining as a regular was a very exciting, great surprise. So it's been really fun. Thank you.
We're very lucky to have her.
Sarah,
I mean, when I got on the show, it was kind of under the circumstances that if everyone liked me, if I didn't, piss anybody off, if the fans liked me, I knew my lines, and then I would be joining as a regular. But, Jonah and Greg, they held out on telling me to the last possible minute. And, I was texting them relentlessly, just wondering what the answer was. Even after I had the job, I still felt like I was having to, dance for my supper every night because I still wasn't convinced.
Thank you. Okay, next question on this side. We're going to do 2 more questions, okay?
Okay. This is a question for all the cast members here. Besides the characters that you respectively play, who's your favorite protagonist and antagonist in the show?
I love Root. I just love her.
Thank you.
I'm mesmerized by Michael Emerson. The man could read a phone book, and I would love it. So,
Amy?
I think it's kind of a testament to the writing again, because everybody has such amazing arcs that go off in different directions. Like just watching that scene, I was like, oh, I want to be Carter, and then I'm sitting there with Michael, and I'm like, he gets to say that. They just really let everybody have their moment, so I think that's kind of the great part of the show.
I'd have to go with Elias. I think Rico does a phenomenal job with that character.
Rico is great too. I love that I have so many scenes with him because sometimes I forget that I'm working and I'm just watching him like, and he's looking at me like, it's your turn. And I'm like, oh, it's my turn to speak? Okay. No, he's incredible, amazing talent.
Jim is another favorite character of yours?
They're like all my beautiful children. How can I say I love one over another?
We love all our children equally.
No one chose Bear, but we do love it.
Everybody loves Bear, though. That's a given.
Hey, looking around, I see there's a number of people that work on the show. If you work on the show, could you stand up, please? Torrance, Kate,
Torrance
come on,
does
Gail,
my
everybody
hair.
get up.
Torrance
These are the
does
people
my
that do
hair
it every
on the
day
show.
with us, right here. They're with us since the beginning. And I don't know whoever else is in here.
Gail Behringer is our line producer, and she has the hardest job in the city. I can tell you that right now. We shoot this show in the streets of New York, 9 days. We're out, and in February, man, you start to feel it.
All right, last question over here.
Hi, I'm from Japan. I'm so happy to see you all. And I'm not good at speaking in English, but I try. I have a question for Greg. I got the idea when I watched the show, the picture of Finch and Nathan Ingram. It looks like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs in yours. So are they model or get any influence from them for the show?
I didn't catch the last part.
The last part I missed, yeah.
Did they influence
And did they
the show?
influence,
Steve Jobs and Bill Gates reminded her of Nathan Ingram.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I'm sorry, we didn't catch it.
Sorry.
I think she said
they were
Bill
Gates.
Gates and
Gates
influence.
In terms of Ingram and Finch, no doubt. I think actually the dynamic we talk about more is Steve Jobs and Wozniak. We always think that was interesting in the origin of Apple in terms of one man being a bit more of the face of the company in its origin and one behind the scenes. And I think that there's an interesting dynamic there between Finch and Ingram, falls along those lines.
Thank you.
Guys, if you haven't seen recently, on the Person of Interest Facebook page, there's a really cool thing you can do where you can make yourself a person of interest. See if you're a target or if you're a danger to people. Just check that out. I want to thank everyone here, Person of Interest.
Thank you for coming.
Creators. Tuesday nights, CBS, 10 p.m.
10 o'clock, and it's available online.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.